Rings of Power Episode 2, where we find out Sauron's been getting his end away.
Exactly what you needed, the lost king who could ride you to victory.
Yes, Sauron is a 5-star jockey, but at least Galadriel is polite about it.
You gave him everything he wanted and then thanked him for it.
And she's not the only one. Sauron, he can get around.
And now he has done the same to Gil-galad.
What? But there was one revelation that even shocked me.
And to every elf in Lindon.
And that is...
Did you just say he had every elf in Lindon? Dirty. Dirty people.
It's like a person. Sing to it properly. It will reflect your song back to you.
Did you say that in season? I can't remember a line that's stupid. You could get the greatest singer in the world to sing to me. I couldn't mirror it back. I could probably make them wish they didn't have eardrums, but I couldn't reflect it back. There he is, just peering inside Elrond. We get a flashback about how Jorin has been disowned by Jorin because Jorin pissed off Jorin by not siding with Jorin. I wish I was making this up.
You that betrayed our kind! You profaned the crown you wear!
That crown also has spikes on. Nobody cares about health and safety in this place. Over with the dwarves now. Deezer and Jorin have been disowned and they're poor.
Wait.
Too dear.
It's a mushroom, love. How expensive can it be? Have you not seen Clarkson's farm? That crap grew so fast it was dangerous.
Oh, sick. We're not paupers.
No, actually, it's worse.
You're the one said it would be wise to tighten our purse strings.
Or your belts. I mean, the most unrealistic part of this is that he's the one who wants to buy extra food.
Or were you not including yourself when you said that?
I mean, look at that. Size matters, right? He's a growing boy. But he's like, you're married a prince and now you're an outcast. Oh, it's fine as long as I can keep your heart. The story is old as time, but only because she thinks it's short-term and he can become a prince again. Otherwise, a divorce immediately.
And I wouldn't trade his heart for a mine full of fire opals.
Yeah, but if you had the fire opals, you could eat as many hearts as you wanted.
Have you tried to talk to your father?
See, she knows he can become prince again. That's the only reason she's there. But as we're walking along, Deezer notices a rumbling.
Disowned me!
Wait, is that my stomach?
Brace yourself.
Ask it breakfast.
I said brace yourself!
And lunch. But what I do like is he cares about her, so he goes to protect her, but in doing so, a rock falls where he was standing and would have killed him if he didn't go and protect his wife. It's a nice little detail I'm not even sure was done intentionally. Of course, the rest of the place gets absolutely destroyed. That's why you walk across a bridge rather than admiring the view. Gets worse when all the tunnels to the surface start closing up and the light gets turned off. Light which they use to grow food, which presumably they could put under electric lights, but that would be one hell of a bill.
No.
Because if there's one thing a dwarf hates, it's the dark. Galadriel are now dreaming that she's meeting Celebrimbor. He's like, I've had an unexpected visitor, in his full granny dress. But she's like, oh, he's returned already. And everywhere gets dark. Vines start to grow from across the floor. It's very difficult to get intimidated by plants. I mean, at least making them look scary.
Are they not the seeds you planted?
Yes, Celebrimbor is here to try and blame someone else other than himself. This is the guy who never asked, why shouldn't I talk to Halbrand? And so when this happens...
Oh!
Pardon?
Oh!
Halbrand really has returned, hasn't he? Yes, Celebrimbor gets wrapped up, everywhere turns red, and he starts to speak in this strange language. And I know, you may think this is bad. Oh, he's speaking in a creepy language. Amazon tells you what it means. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky. You'd probably guess the rest. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for the mortal men doomed to die. Galadriel can literally see into the future, but is too thick to do anything, despite the fact that she's been told the entire plan. Isn't it weird when you put a girl boss as the main character, they always end up humiliating her. They just make really bad decisions, constantly.
Oh!
And so, as it pulls him into the vines, and they, they go through him. It's like, whoa, that's some good stuff. Tell me about the dwarves again. Ooh, I wish this didn't have a red filter over it. I mean, this would make a great thumbnail. But she sees him turn into a tree and it's like, yeah, it's only Celebrimbor. Who cares, really? That's the face of your first date with Sauron going really well or really badly. Then it turns out, though, she's actually in a meeting at the time. I mean, can't even concentrate on that. I don't know why anyone listens to her, let alone gives her a ring of power. She's now literally having waking dreams, otherwise known as hallucinations. Hallucinations that can predict the future. Of course, just as she comes back in the room, she hears one line.
It would be wiser to attack Adar from the east.
That's all she knows about the meeting. And so, it's no surprise when she's asked for military advice, for some reason. Look at Galadriel, clear military strategist. But because that's all she's heard, when he asks for her advice,
Commander of the Northern Army, Galadriel.
We should send ships up the Anduin.
literally just a contrarian.
Invade Mordor from the west.
Nothing going on upstairs. Lot going on downstairs, but not upstairs. I mean, it really is no surprise that's the best she could come up with when she doesn't have enough blood for both ends of her body. Her brain is starved of oxygen.
We may be able to crush 2 spiders with 1 boot.
Oh, piss off. Wouldn't you do that anyway? I mean, you could literally get 2 spiders. It's still the same pissing, but it doesn't even make sense.
It does not take the eye of an eagle to see your thoughts have flown far afield.
Oh, I can see you're distracted, Galadriel. What distracts you, Galadriel? Galadriel, pay attention. Lives are at stake. There are many ways you could have phrased this. I'm not sure that...
Take the eye of an eagle to see your thoughts have flown far afield.
Yes, especially if you've got 2 spiders, but only 1 boot. Why'd you have 1 boot anyway? You've got 2 feet. Episode 2. Episode 2 has broken me. It's like, that was too much stupidity in a short space of time.
Sauron may well have travelled to Mordor.
Hey, she managed to roll 3 R's and 3 words. That's quite impressive. But she says we don't even know Sauron is in Mordor. He may be in there, but I think he's left. He doesn't just see himself as lord of a barren waste. He wants to rule the world.
And for that he needs not armies, but rings.
Do you think he needs your ring? I hope so. But she's like, he needs Celebrimbor. No, we can't get to Celebrimbor. Eregion is protected by rivers and walls. Well, that's literally his excuse.
2 rivers, dwarven stone, 10 foot thick.
Yes, there's a deep wall around it. Yes, but what about the number of people stationed there? That's more important, isn't it, really?
Celebrimbor and the secrets of his craft are safe.
Well, as long as that Halbrander's Sauron's single messenger gets through to him, because you were too stupid to tell him at the time, then he'll be safe. But once more, she starts to feel up her own ring. Hang on, that's not Mordor. I'm telling you, he's somewhere else. Tells him, since I've put this ring on, I seem like to be able to perceive the unseen world. I think it's giving me glimpses of the future. And he doesn't go, you're a lunatic. Galadriel, I think you're subject to schizophrenia.
Perceived glimpses of the unseen world.
I think I can see the future.
As dreams unbidden coming forth to crowd my waking mind.
In other words, she is now literally a delusional bint.
The rings have kindled your ability to see that which has not yet come to pass.
Are you saying you can see the future, Galadriel? It's so much easier to say. But it turns out he's having hallucinations as well. Mountains crumbling, fire over towers of white. And then suddenly he knows everything about Sauron. He's like, it's said that once he gains your trust, he can manipulate you, change even what your eyes and ears see. He can literally shape your reality. And he's like, oh yeah, that's what he did in season 1, isn't it? That's cool. It's amazing how you're suddenly an expert on him. It's weird. You didn't even believe he existed last time. But because he has gained your trust once, you can never meet him again, or he'll be able to shape your reality, and none of them go, hang on, is that what these hallucinations are? Maybe he's sending them to me. But after telling her that you can never meet him again because he will be able to utterly dominate you and everything you see, we find out that being unable to abstract has serious downsides.
He knows my mind and I know his, which is why I must face him.
Oh, of course. Main character syndrome, because she can't imagine another person existing. Yes, obviously he's stronger than me and can dominate me, and that's why I must face him. Because I am weak to him, that's why I must fight him. I crave the boots. She's read 50 Shades, she can't wait to be dominated by him again.
Why I alone can slay him.
Didn't know that's what the kids were calling it nowadays.
He does slay in a certain way.
He does.
He does slay.
Her words betray her own mind, though, and her thoughts when she goes,
Halbrand was not.
Sauron.
Yes, Gilgalad even spots the problem, understands what the problem is, and doesn't just, like, shove her in a dungeon somewhere because she's clearly incompetent. He even lets her reach a compromise where he goes, you can't face her alone. What if I'm not alone? What if I've got somebody who's actually a competent human being to come along with me? Back with Celebrimbor, and for some reason he sent this random character out. It's like, why? You saw the effect that Halbrand had on Galadriel, and the person that you send to him is, oh yeah, she's not going to fall under his charms, is she? This is going to be like a thirst triangle. She passed along a message that Celebrimbor door, he's not letting you in, and he's not talking to you.
Are you asking me to leave?
I don't know why he's not telling you to leave. You can't come in, therefore piss off. But he's like, no, I'm just gonna stand here for the rest of eternity. And then as he turns around, she notices he's injured. Oh, he's scarred and damaged. My motherly instinct has kicked in, and despite the fact that I've been commanded by my superiors, I can't help it. I feel sorry for him. Now, Celebrimbor, for once in his life, has a good idea. He's like, is he gone? No. Well, I mean...
Well, he can refuse all he cares to.
I don't care. I'm never talking to him because Galadriel told me not to, and I'm a good boy. I just obey whatever I'm told. Never ask questions. Like, why? No, I'll just do it anyway.
I believe he's injured.
Who cares? You're fired. We're gonna get a bloke in who isn't so easily manipulated. Oh, my caring instinct. You're supposed to project that onto other people, not Sauron. Sauron.
Let him be. He'll leave soon enough.
Based. Oh no, I'm sorry, Satan has a boo-boo, but I really don't care. Then we get a really weird line, though, that they definitely haven't thought through.
Messengers from Lindon should arrive with news any day.
Completely ADR'd, wasn't in the script, and you could understand why. How would he know? Oh, we're gonna have messengers in a couple... How do you know? How do you know you're gonna have messengers unless a messenger told you that you were going to have messengers? And why would anyone send you a messenger telling you to expect a messenger in a few days with a new message that the original messenger could have given you? It really was a bad line to put in, and it was only done for one reason. To remind you who this dead guy is. It's literally, it is on streaming. We're releasing 2 episodes at the same time, but maybe they haven't watched the first one, or they just forgot it and wiped it from their memory as a self-defense mechanism. But as they drag one messenger away, you find out there's another messenger. It's like, hang on, you only sent one guy, where's there 2 of them? Including the important message crushed on the floor. I wonder who did this. Oh, it's Sauron, yeah. Oh, that was a nice cut to answer my question, wasn't it? How did he know that they were going to send messengers? How did he know what the route was? How did he know that Celebrimbor hadn't already been told he was Sauron? To know that he even needed to intercept messengers? Who did he get to intercept the messengers? I mean, earlier in the same episode, they said this.
Sauron is alone, without army or ally.
Apparently not, because somebody intercepted your pissing messengers for him. Rings of Power, the home of contradiction. Also, cutting to him is literally just to answer that question for you, by the way, because immediately what happens is... Yeah, we just cut somewhere else. I wonder who did that. Oh, right. Next scene. Back now with the strained vampires. We've brought moths. And we're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. They do a ritual in order to bring back Feminem. Although why, when she achieved absolutely nothing, I have no idea. I'm back! Person that nobody cared about at all. No, but she's an original character and that makes her more important than anything Tolkien came up with. But she tells him that Sauron is growing in power, he's taken a new shape, and that she did nothing about the stranger at all. He's like, he will soon harness his powers and we won't be able to touch him.
The blood I wasted to bring you before me spent on more useful servants.
Yeah, but the thing is, he already knew all of this before he even summoned them and he still wasted it. There's really a seeming like a him problem. Because the thing is, she never told him about the stranger. He told her.
Whispers of an old man in rags traveling east.
He already knew. Feminem told him nothing, and he's like, I wasted blood summoning you, didn't I? I don't know why I did it. It's like, nor did I. But it's not as if he didn't know what you were getting. But the stranger turns up and goes, look, I can get you that wizard easily. All you have to do is cure the curse upon our flesh.
What makes you think a mortal like yourself?
Don't start banging on about how mortals can't do anything when you opened this entire series with Sauron getting killed by a load of orcs. If there's one thing Rings of Power has done successfully, it is making the most powerful people in the universe seem like weak morons.
Could defeat an Eastar when my most powerful acolyte could not.
What? You were just saying she was a waste of blood 2 seconds ago, and now you're like, oh, if she can't do it, no one can. I mean, look at it. Doesn't it just cry, powerful warrior? Is that obviously I can capture him, because otherwise I'm just going to kill his halflings. Is that, well, you know? It's to the point. It's just when we see this plan enacted, it's not done very well. Maybe you need to tell him that before you start shooting at them. Back to the Harfoots, and they're just calling out names for him repeatedly. Seems to go on forever. Don't worry, we're skipping that bit.
No one can give you a name. It is yours already.
Oh, I see. He's been in the Desert Sun and completely lost his mind. Your parents literally give you a name. I mean, this isn't difficult. Next, we're gonna have to teach him about the birds and the bees.
It is who you are, and when you hear it spoken, you feel your heart glow.
That must mean that Galadriel's true name is Miserable Bint. But she's like, if we cross across this desert without any food or water, we'll get there in half the time. I mean, we'll die, but it'll be faster. The issue is, while going the other way, they hear horses, realize people are after them, and so go to hide. The Harfoots, well, I mean, they just vanish. He doesn't know where they've gone, but they've just hung up some cloth against a mountain and are just standing there with each other. If they stay there, this show might actually improve. Eventually, though, the guys leave and we see where they hid each other. Honestly, I don't know how that merges into The Rock, but here we are.
Who were they?
How do you expect him to know? He doesn't even know who he is.
I don't know.
The most obvious answer in all of history. Well, if they're watching our trail, we're gonna have to go a different route. The desert it is. I guess we just die, is basically his answer.
Nobody goes off trail. Nobody walks alone.
Walks alone.
Unless you're trying to help out the town and damage your leg, in which case they'll just leave you behind to die. Back in the mines, all their plants are dying without light, but their issues are bigger than just the plants. Even the rock itself has now become dangerous to mine. And so they bring forth Deezer to sing into the mine to try and find a safe path, and goes about as well as you'd expect. Maybe if you're singing and the entire mine starts to collapse, stop. The other woman's even going, shut up! Shut up! What are you doing? But Deezer don't care. No, she knows best. I should have known better than to play that clip as well, really, shouldn't I? Even the mine couldn't handle it, and one of their few remaining passages to the sunlight, she closes. She's about as useful as Durin with Elrond at this point. Deezer, her voice is officially a lethal weapon. Durin just loses it. I mean, for centuries you found us safe passages, but now clearly that's failed. We've been separated from the voice. We must find a new way.
Dig carefully, though, master.
Yes, now if we can't sing for our supper, we're gonna have to trust this guy. They are so in trouble. King Durin, though, brings back Deezer to talk about his son, and honestly, I don't know why this is even here. Does anybody care? He's just like, I spoke to my son in haste, but I'm not going to tell him that. He has to come in and apologise to me, because I'm not going to apologise to him, because I'm stubborn.
Why should it be me who apologises?
No, that's the plot, that's the scene.
It was he who caused offence. He is
Stubborn as a root-bound parsnip.
That's your king. Shut up. But Deezer never wanted to take accountability for her own actions. Well, I mean, she has a theory about why she can't sing properly anymore.
No wonder we can't hear the mountain. Its king is deaf to the sorrow of his own son.
Maybe you're just incompetent, love. Have you ever thought of that? This could be a you problem. You are the one singing like a banshee. But she's like, if you want to show true strength, you should make up with my son, so I'm rich again and don't have to live off mushrooms. Isn't it strange how whenever she phrases the correct thing to do, it always just happens to benefit her? It's strange how morality and her bank balance lines up, isn't it? Same as any Hollywood actor. So we find Durin digging, and of course, he's not used to this. He's got calluses on his hands, and all the other people who actually work for a living are taking the piss out of him. I used to have calluses on my hands too, when I was 5.
Lay a finger on me again. I'll bite it off at the knuckle.
Yes, he talks a big game. Unfortunately, he's a nobody. He's about to learn a lesson and never pick a fight that you can't back up. Maybe don't turn your back on somebody that you've just threatened to bite their finger off. You were lucky he didn't have a hammer. The face of somebody who knows he's got to go back home to Deezer. That's backed up when he goes back home, and the first thing that happens is an argument with his wife over food. I'm not making this up. Sometimes the jokes write themselves.
We'd have food enough for 500 years!
You think this is about food?
Yes. I'm not sure why I think you'd be so angry about that, but I have a feeling everything is about food. But she's like, I can't hear the mountains anymore. And it's like, yes, and that means that you can't get light, so you can't get food. It is about food. You're just extrapolating one layer removed to try and hide it. Poorly. Elrond, though, after realizing the world's been destroyed because the greatest elves have now decided to submit to Sauron's influence in the rings, rather than trying to do anything about it, it's just I'm gonna build a ship. Yep, there we go. It's not the worst plan. Okay, none of you care about Middle-earth. I'm leaving. Even if I have to craft this ship myself. But Galadriel comes and is like, well, we haven't heard anything back from Celebrimbor, which you'd expect when we've just told him, don't listen to Satan. So we're going there ourselves to see if there's anything wrong and possibly get our end away.
I'm asking you to join us.
Why do you want me to join you? Let's face it, you've never listened to me before. And so she decides to convince him in a similar way that she convinced Sauron. Get your coat, lads.
He refuses to send me without you.
And why is that?
You know the reason.
Yes, but are you going to say it? Because no one wants little demons running around the earth. But look at him, he's so cute. He's a Sith baddie.
You know the reason.
I'm asking if you know it.
Because for the last 10 episodes, you've acted retarded.
The High King believes that if I were to face the enemy alone, I may be vulnerable to deception.
That's one word for it.
Deception.
Although I'm not sure she'd be standing by Sauron screaming, deceive me harder. It's the wrong D. So he's like, well, you know, you don't listen to the king ever. Why have you suddenly started? And he's like, well, you know, he is correct.
Because he is right. Sauron used me.
No, you were using him. You specifically dragged him away to do actions that you wanted. It was your own plan that backfired. He had nothing to do with it.
And under his hand, I was played like a harp to a melody not of my choosing.
Oh no. I saw him climb out of a pool and I just had to do whatever he said.
Before Sauron ravaged her.
Throbbing.
She's an elf disgrace.
It was entirely of your choosing.
I like Alrond. I didn't before, but I do now. He's like, no, it's your own fault, you silly cow.
Sauron looked inside you.
There was something inside him. I'm not sure it was his eyeballs.
Plucked the very song of soul, note by note.
Why are you keeping up the metaphor? Let's look at her face. She's like, are you insane? Do you think I could be held accountable for my own actions? How dare you? It was clearly a man's fault, what I decided to do.
Sauron looked inside you, plucked the very song of your soul, note by note.
This is what happens when someone picks up a bad metaphor and you carry it on without even thinking about it. Well, you know, it's like when a frog licks a shoe. Yes, but when a frog licks a shoe while playing Frogger across a mountain, sometimes a truck runs it over. Like, I have no idea what's being said anymore.
Making himself out to be exactly what you needed, the lost king who could ride you to victory.
He made himself out to be exactly what you needed. Someone who could ride you. That's what you needed, Galadriel, wasn't it? You chased him for thousands of years. He only had one there was really only one chance that he could get rid of you, to give you what you need.
Could ride you to victory. You gave him everything he wanted and then thanked him for it.
Well, thank you. That was really nice. Cheers.
And now he has done the same to Gil-galad.
What? I didn't know this. This is new information. I didn't know we'd been riding Gil-galad as well. That's what he needed. You know what those high-class elves are like. They're all at it.
And to every elf in Lindon.
And that is...
Did you just say he had every elf in Lindon?
And now he has done the same to Gil-galad, and to every elf in Lindon.
Jesus, he's put himself about a bit, hasn't he? I knew Sauron was making people thirsty. I didn't know he'd been with the entire city. Dirty people, those elves. Suppose if you live forever, it could sneak up on you. They're the only people whose body counts go to infinity. That city ended up looking like a used dish rag.
And that is why we need you. Help us navigate this labyrinth.
Please, give us the ability to say no, because no one in Lindon has been able to so far. We desperately need you. You're the only one who's sane, who can resist him. So he's like, no, you don't understand. The labyrinth is him. He controls it. He may well want you to go there, to talk to Celebrimbor, to lure you under his command. Yeah, no, but I need it. I need to defeat him. Look, I've even put this crown in my hair so I look nice for him.
I cannot let him in again. I cannot.
Yes. He so thoroughly destroyed it last time, there's just no opportunity for more. She's like, I remember a time when I led him into a war he didn't want to be in, and he told me he was evil, and I told him it didn't matter what he'd done. That's what this scene was. At this point, they're relying on you not remembering season 1.
I cannot let him in again.
He never left Galadriel.
What an absolute Chad. Finally, someone will talk to Galadriel as she deserves. Before it's like, oh, I don't trust you, I don't trust you. And now, when they've actually found out that she has done evil, they're going, yeah, no, you are the problem. You've always been the problem.
In choosing to wear those rings, you have all chosen to become his collaborators.
Yes, you decided to side with evil. Well done, folks, well done.
I will have no part in it.
What a boss.
You promised me once. What I feared proved true. You would not rest until it was put right.
He followed through on that. He jumped off a cliff. He did it to save you, and then you brought the king and his army to crush him because you wanted Sauron to play with your ring. And I mean, come on. There comes a point where he's going, well, I mean, if you just want to side with him, I'm not going to stop you. You can destroy your own life. He's just making you face the consequences of your own decisions.
If our friendship ever meant anything to you, please leave.
How long until they destroy this amazing character? I mean, this is Amazon. There's absolutely no way he's going to stay like this. How long before he's like, Galadriel, I need your advice? So then for some reason, he starts speaking to Círdan, who is under the influence of one of the rings, like Galadriel, and yet Elrond thinks he can trust his advice, even though it's insane.
I cannot trust these rings. What is beauty when it is born in part of evil?
No less beautiful.
What's that got to do with anything? Oh, look, this really evil thing looks nice. So?
No less beautiful.
Not to me.
What a boss. This is just Elrond going around slapping sense into all the idiots. Push him in the river.
Would you cast Romil's verses into the flame because the poet was a drunkard?
What's that got to do with anything? Firstly, yes, the creation of something does influence the creation. If you're an actor and an arsehole, that is going to affect the work that you do. And people should judge the work that you do by the people involved in it. This is common sense. There's a reason why Mark Hamill ruining his reputation affects how people see the characters that he plays. But also, this is the one ring where it's literally influencing the creation. His evil is literally inside the thing, and the thing affects you, and you turns you evil. This isn't just, oh, well, he gets a bit pissed every now and again. No, this is world-ending evil influence. And he's like, well, it's fine. fine. That guy's an idiot. The oldest and wisest elf, and yet still only as smart as the writers with their morality. Call him an idiot. Go on, I dare you.
Brumil was a drunkard.
Instead, he's just like, oh, I didn't know he drank. Oh. They couldn't even think of the response to their own position. And so because Círdan was them, they couldn't think of the opposite side of the argument for Elrond to actually provide back at him. Because they can only see the world through their perspective.
Judge the work.
So you just end up with Elrond looking like an idiot. Oh, he drank? It's like, yeah, he told you he drank. What's your point?
Leave judgment concerning those who wrought it to the judge who sees all things.
No. The people involved in a creation influence the creation. It's their point of view, it's their perspective, it's their morality and values that go into it. You also got them, let's take actors for example, going around on tours doing interviews and things, pushing forward their worldview on other people because of the work. What an absolute but an especially stupid position to put forward in this world, where somebody being evil and creating thing literally makes the product evil. It's not even a metaphor in this universe, it's physical.
That was impossible.
It is called humility.
No, it isn't. Just consume evil. That's called humility. I tell you, if these rings aren't influencing to be evil, which they shouldn't be doing, this guy, I tell you, just someone sick in a Mordor, he'll be right at home.
And it is difficult for most, but it is the truest form of sight.
Says the blind man. What a complete fool. Push him in the river, go on. Oh, go on. Don't let me down, Elrond.
Wish I could know your peace.
No, Elrond, that's just because ignorance is bliss. That guy's the oldest elf. It must have some kind of mental degenerative disorder.
You can.
Just embrace evil like I am.
But look at the power they exert over every form of life.
I don't even know if he's meant to be evil. I'm pretty sure he's not meant to be evil. So why is he acting and talking like he's evil?
You are wise to fear this power.
You know, especially if it makes somebody talk like you. I don't know how anyone can listen to this speech and not immediately lock him up.
But do not let that fear blind you to the ways it can be used for good.
This is literally the Gandalf One Ring argument. There's a reason why he turned it down, because otherwise he'd turn into this. Which is kind of ironic when Gandalf has the same ring that this guy has on. But maybe Círdan was just innately evil, who knows? At least in Rings of Power.
Do not abandon them, but rather open your eyes
and guide them
into a prison cell. Yes. Maybe if someone has aligned themselves with literally Satan, don't abandon. No, abandon them. Get out. Get out now. Over with the Harfoots now, and they found water. And because the water is important, they've set some kind of alert system on it, where as you turn it and get the water, it actually rings the bell to alert everyone around you. This obviously ends really well. At no point does she think, maybe I shouldn't be alerting people around me that I'm stealing their water. So she just lets it ring. She's staring, I wonder why it's making noise. I don't know if it's to alert people.
What's your life? Oh my God, I thought we lost you.
But at that moment, the stranger looks over and he's like, oh look, there's a random stick here. And he doesn't find that strange. Why is there a magical staff just lying around on the floor somewhere? Or is it literally just a stick that's like, ooh, I can do magic as long as I find a twig. It's a good job he found it though, because instantaneously, the people that are hunting them turns up and he's like, well, you know, we would have all died if we hadn't found this magical stick next to us at this exact second.
We were just having a drink of water.
We were just stealing your water. What great opening diplomacy skills. I don't think that's a good sign. Remember when they said, we will get that wizard to surrender to us because otherwise we will kill his Harfoot friends. So then they find him. The first thing they do is throw a spear at his Harfoot friends. These are not smart people. Why would he surrender when you've already killed his friends? Either way, the Harfoots decide to hide and the wizard kicks off. Yes, he starts summoning a tornado. It whips up around him and blows off the enemies. The issue is he can't stop it. So as he's standing there, holding his staff, not going, why can't I switch off my own magic? The Harfoots then start getting sucked away. His magic staff literally disintegrates while he's holding it. I'm like, what? Or was it just a twig? I still don't know. And so, as he's lost control, it's eventually inevitable that the Harfoots get blown away into random place. Oh no, my twig! No, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot, Nori.
I'm coming!
Oh.
Hey, look, there was a lot of wind, we can't see it, we didn't need to know, alright? I hate it when people say that in these things. You know, there's a guy on the edge of a mountain, he's just gripping onto the mountain face, and the guy, hold on! What did you think I was doing? I wasn't planning on letting go. So they get sucked away off into the ether. It's like, well, the stranger really is kind of an idiot, isn't he, really? Gandalf! Back with Celebrimbor, and he's like, oh, our visitor, is he still there? And of course, what does his assistant say?
The night is cold. Shall I bring him a shawl?
No, why are we feeling sorry for the random guy that turned up at the gate, which we've been told not to speak to?
And to every elf in Lindon.
Dirty, dirty people. Please think with your brain rather than further down, eh, love? Just for once. I can't, it's engorged. So he's still standing there. At no point has anyone gone, hang on, he's been here for weeks. How is he still standing in the same place with no food? It is a bit strange. But as the storm comes and the rain pours down, for some reason, Celebrimbor decides, no, I'm going to go down to and talk to him, despite that being the literal only instruction I've ever had. And so he comes down with an umbrella. It's a really awfully designed umbrella, isn't it, really? I mean, firstly, just make it spherical so that the guy holding it is covered. And then you could hold it yourself, or he could just hold it behind you. Somehow Sauron has wet hair, despite being under a roof, and Celebrimbor is he's very shiny, isn't he? Because he's soaking wet under his own umbrella.
Whatever the reason for your presence here,
I was going to invent a new umbrella for you, mate, because yours, I don't know whether it's got holes in or whether you can't walk properly underneath it. Yours is crap. Look at you. You are dripping wet, just like your assistant.
if you do not leave willingly, you shall be removed by force.
Okay, do it then. I don't know why you had to come down and tell him that. And he says, I just can't talk to you.
She said you'd say that.
Who did? Why have you not told me this before?
Galadriel.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, sure. Galadriel said it. Absolutely.
Spoken with her, well, haven't you?
But this is where Sauron finds out that they don't know he's Sauron. It's so stupid. There is no reason he wouldn't have assumed they knew he was Sauron.
But then you know nothing of what's happened.
Why didn't she tell you I was Sauron before she left? So he's like, yeah, I never told you nothing of the rings. What, the rings? You know of the rings?
What of the rings?
It's like, yes, they worked. They're magnificent. It's like, but you can talk to Galadriel and the High King. Surely they've sent... No, nobody's told you. Aw. Little bit put down, are you?
The true creators toil till their knuckles bleed.
Nobody seems to respect your magnificence.
And then they come along, take whatever profits them most.
Yes, it's that argument. The workers decide the real credit because they're the ones that make the profit. Oh, come on. You work for Amazon. Calm down.
And forget all about us.
Yes, us. You know, the demon lords.
I applaud your patience.
And so he goes to leave, and of course Celebrimbor falls straight for it because despite none of this conversation having impacted him in the least, or shouldn't have done, of course, we get...
Where are you going?
I mean, you told me to leave and I'm leaving. Is that, no, I just want the information, you can stay now. Literally, it's so basic. I said this before, I didn't think they had the intelligence to write a manipulative person, and they don't. It would require a grasp of abstract concepts to be able to put yourself into different people's positions, and they don't have it. They just know he needs to let him in, and so they have a pointless conversation and he lets him in.
There's no cause to stay where I'm not wanted.
Yeah, you're not wanted, piss off.
Wait.
There is no reason for this. And so he invites him in. The only reason being, oh, you know, they just don't talk to you, do they? That is it. That is the only reason to obey the one instruction that he's ever had. And so he tells him that the rings worked wonders. The elves have been saved. And Celebrimbor, he's getting all weepy. Oh, this is going to be a great romance. I can feel it in my bones.
Are you weeping?
No, despite the fact that they weren't even my rings because we just made them your recipe, didn't we? There was that. But Halbrand needs him to trust him because when he trusts him, well, now I can manipulate you. And so he starts down that path.
Celebrimbor, are you my friend?
Yes, of course.
Well, now we've got you. Now we can make you see anything. And so he says, I come to you to make rings for men. That's what I need.
Rings for men?
You saved the elves.
Elves are not men.
I mean, that would explain the dresses, wouldn't it, really?
Men are covetous.
The risks of corruption are far greater.
Yeah, so basically the men can't be trusted. Probably why Sauron wants to influence them. Because they're far more easily impacted and wouldn't be able to handle the power. And that means that Sauron needs a new plan. He says the dwarves have a problem all of their own. They will accede to your demands. You could make rings for them, solve their problems, and they will give you as much mithril as you want.
My name is not Halbrand. When Galadriel discovered the truth, she cast me out.
Yeah. Celebrimbor doesn't think of this, and what's about to happen next isn't linked to this moment. Celebrimbor never thinks about the two things and how they don't actually make sense. Because Sauron is about to tell him, I am no man.
There are forces in this world beyond evil.
That should be a bit of a red flag, shouldn't it? You want to tell somebody that you're a god, come to help them. And you start with, there are forces beyond evil. Yes, that implies even beyond evil, there is something worse. Most people would be like, well, you know, there are the gods of the world, which Celebrimbor would know about, but you decided to frame it around evil.
And sometimes they send aid.
Yes, sometimes the forces that are worse than evil send aid. Think I'll pass, thanks. I don't really need that kind of aid. But Sauron says the world is on the brink. Soon every realm will fall. We can stop it with the rings. You and I have work to do to make the rings to save the world. And he's like, yeah, but hang on, think about what he told you. He is a force beyond evil.
You cannot expect me to believe that you are a messenger from the Valar.
Yeah, but he did say he was an evil messenger from the Valar, and that when Galadriel found out he was an evil messenger, she wanted nothing more to do with him, and you're like, well, I just heard Valar. I'm not going to think about it anymore. If someone goes, I am from the forces of evil, come to guys, you don't go, ooh, I'm not sure we are what you say you are. Why would he lie to you about how evil he is? So then he opens the windows and puts on a show. He vanishes and kicks off the forge into high gear as Celebrimbor gazes into the fire. Another great sign that this is evil. Sauron kicks in with the ASMR to basically big up Celebrimbor.
In search of an artist, save all Middle-earth.
Oh yes, you're so amazing, Celebrimbor. You are the artist that could save everybody. This is just words of affirmation ASMR to turn him evil.
A storm is coming, Celebrimbor.
Yes, a storm is coming. There is a storm inside Galadriel. And so, as he gazes into the hellfire, out walks Sauron. When our work is complete, they won't just know you as the sire of Fëanor. They will know you as... Yeah. This is basically just Jesus symbology, which is fine, as this is essentially Satan pretending to be good, and so taking on the symbology of something that was good by something evil is exactly what Sauron would have done. My problem is more that he's told Celebrimbor that he's evil, an evil god, and Celebrimbor's just like, oh, I'm gonna be a title of a movie, and that's enough to win him over. He said he is beyond evil, he's walked out of hellfire, he wants to make rings that have the power over all the realms, and when Galadriel found out how evil he was, she disowned him. Celebrimbor was like, whoa, I'm gonna follow you. Evil god. Celebrimbor isn't supposed to know he's following evil. I don't care how impressive you are. Just pretend to go along with him, if anything. Don't actually go along with him.
You need not bow to me.
Yes, why are we bowing to Satan in the first place, Celebrimbor? Please, stop it. He's told you he's beyond evil.
But I have beheld your natural form.
I've seen your true face, now I'm gonna have to die.
Rise.
Oh, right-hand lieutenant of filth.
Our work begins now.
You wouldn't believe how many people we're gonna make suffer, Celebrimbor, together.
What am I to call you?
Sauron!
Your partner.
Oh, really? I told you, this bromance is on the cards. We're partners, Celebrimbor. We're gonna be called life partners.
A sharer of gifts.
He's gonna share his gifts right here. Certainly is. He's already shared them with Galadriel. You know what they say? With three comes balance. What is this show?
Anatar.
Can't say Anatar after he's already admitted that he's evil. Anatar was supposed to convince them that he wasn't. Oh, God. He wasn't supposed to... Let's just take the name of things and change all of the actions that happened. That'll make sense. This is Wheel of Time all over again.
Anatar.
Has nothing to do with the original story. We've just taken place names and gone, I know that.
Anatar.
Anatar. Your gift.
Back with Galadriel, Gil-galad has summoned her and to give her new orders. And to be honest, I quite like them. It's like, you will be going to meet Celebrimbor with 5 of our bravest elves.
Thank you for reconsidering.
Yes, reconsidering your place in all of this, Galadriel.
It is not I you ought to thank.
Elrond,
It's the only sane elf in the entire show.
I am very grateful you have decided to join my company.
I'm sorry. Your company, Galadriel? You think you could sign up with Sauron and lead this empire?
Elrond's task is not to join your company, but to lead it.
Based. Elrond just can't stop winning, can he? He's just like knocking him out the park. Although if this is just all a master plan so that he can bang Sauron as well, I am out. There is too many people getting with Sauron for me to keep track of anymore. I can't believe you took my position because I have the Ring of Power. Power is all I'm interested in. I am modernity. Remember when this started? Oh, it's going to kick off right from the beginning. And it's going to be Machiavellian plans. We're going to see Sauron with his puppet strings and everybody. And you're like, did you see your own show before you described it like this? The longer this goes on, the more it's confirming that they were just telling the audience what they thought they wanted to hear, but not accurately describing the show at all. Or worse, they think it is accurately describing the show, and they think they've made something far greater than they have, which actually would make sense. There is no Machiavellian planning. It's just, I tell you something, and you go, oh, I'll do what you want now. There is no depth or intellect. There is no twists and turns. There is no characters that really make sense. The only standout person out of all of it that so far hasn't been a gullible prat is Elrond. And so putting him into a leadership position, great. Let's see how long that lasts. As I have the horrifying expectation that the only reason they put him in charge of Galadriel is so that she can humiliate him and then take charge back again. Oh, well, That'll teach you not to trust me. And so with this show, I am just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because in a show like that's all you've got. Just social interaction. Everyone's talking about their feelings all the time. Well, everyone's waiting for a plot. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. More videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.